Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge, hope we're doing well. It's midnight kickoff tonight and I'm sweating buckets. This is the hottest stream I think I've ever done. I just absolutely cannot cool down. I was actually going to take my shorts off just to cool myself down, but then I thought if we see a screamer and I jump up and I go, yes, get in, I'll knock myself out. So, and also probably get fired and cancelled and everything else like that. But seriously, if I could be naked, I would. And I'm not doing that from a fetish point of view. I'm doing it from a heat point of view. I'm absolutely uncomfortably hot. But I suppose in some ways that's better than being uncomfortably hot in bed. How are we all doing anyway? It feels weird for me that my first watch along in this World Cup today is actually at midnight, but Rory did a good job. Got caught out by a super chat I saw. Yeah, it is really. It's not, I'm not worrying about the heat. It's the humidity. Like I don't think I've ever done a stream in heat like this. It's actually horrible. It really is. Team news will go through. Thanks everyone who's tuning in on TikTok as well. Thanks everybody who's tuning in on YouTube. You can subscribe, bottom right hand corner on YouTube, and you can follow by clicking follow. You're not going to watch the Dutch game. We've got both on, mate. You literally just go up and down, really. Tunisia, Netherlands, and Japan, Sweden is my featured game. But obviously we can pivot to whichever one we want to, because fundamentally the main thing we want to talk about here is how the group's going to pan out. Scotland are going home. Back home, we'll be thinking about you when you are on your way. No, I wanted Scotland to do well, but they're going to get what they deserve, which is a flight back to Scotland. No, look, let's get real. Let's get real. There's a couple of stories to talk about. What do you think about Elliot Anderson news? We will talk about that. What do you think? Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal as well. I don't know whether we can trust the source, but that's big as well. We'll talk about that. I find, if I just move my mouth and not my body, I'm finding that I'm starting to cool down a little bit here. This is good stuff. Okay. Let me just pause that for you there. So that's the group stage as it looks at the moment. Obviously, that's going to change as it stands. We're in Dallas. I'm not going to do it. I'll just get hot. We're in Dallas. A few changes. Sano has started every game for Japan, and I was looking at their team news. We'll go through that in a minute. But Japan have made a few changes. Tomiyasu isn't starting. Sano isn't starting. Well, basically, Suzuki, Tomiyasu, Itakura, and Ito were their back four. So just Tomiyasu out. Doan, Sano, Tanaka, Nakamura. And he has Kamada and... Sorry, let me have a look. Yeah, Kamada's come in for Sano. And Tanaka was playing. Sugawara's come in. And then the front three was Ito, Kamada, and Oedo. I mean, he's made a couple of changes, a couple of rotational changes in the Swedish side, in the Japan side. Sweden have got to go for it, so they've gone strong. Of course, Gyökeres, Isak, Alanga. Yeah, Sweden have got to go for this. But look, as I say, Japan will go through anyway. Even if they lose, Japan will go through with 4 points. 4 points will get you through. Sweden could go through as things stand, even if they lose, but probably a draw. Well, a draw will get Sweden through in third place. But of course, Japan are going for top. There is quite an interesting aspect to this, because the second place team in this group, which is Japan at the moment, plays Brazil. So you might want to avoid that, win the group and play Morocco. Personally, I think both are difficult, but you'd probably traditionally rather play Morocco than Brazil. So Netherlands are going to try and win, so that they top the group, and Japan are going to try and win, so they top the group. And obviously their head-to-head makes it about goal difference because they drew. So an interesting night ahead. I've been looking forward to this one. Let's see how it's going to pan out, because we're off and running there. Yeah, just going through the teams for you as well. Get your comments in. What do you think of Anana going? Happy. I'm just going to answer questions like that. Minimal words. But Sweden have won an early corner here. So this is the... is that the... That's the Japanese side, isn't it? Yes. Because They're playing in blue. Yeah, so Suzuki, Tomiyasu, Itakura. No, that's the Tunisia game. Sorry. Suzuki, Seko, Itakura, Ito, Sugawara, Tanaka, Kamada, Nakamura, Doan, Maeda, and Oedo. And then in goal for Sweden, you've got Zetterstrom, Lagerbielk, Hien, Lindelof, Bernardsson, Stroud, Ayari of Brighton, Gudmundsson, Alanga, Gyökeres, Isak. Premier League front three. Yeah, very excited about this. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Japanese side because we know more about the Swedes. I'll go through some of the players there, but obviously you'll know Tanaka of Leeds. And don't worry, I'm wired. I had my coffee about half an hour ago, so I'm literally going to be buzzing my tits off for the next 2 hours. I'm going to, yeah. Beth just messaged me saying Bruno Gomes and Cunha have been playing so well together lately as well. I know, and bloody Arsenal are going for him, but it's another corner to Sweden here. They've had a good start. Packed out stadium again. Lovely to see. And let me just get these two squads up. So Sugawara plays for Werder Bremen. Nakamura plays for Reims. Ito plays for Genk. I don't really think we've done a lot of Japan, have we, really? We'll go through the Japan squad in a little bit more detail in a bit. But Sweden have another crap corner here. And it was crap. But we'll say it how it is. It was crap. Make sure you share the video, by the way. We are live with you through till 2. I'll talk about the schedule at half-time and what we've got coming up for you over the next few days. Suffice to say, we've got a cracking game between Norway and France. And also, it's really difficult. I'm struggling with this. I don't really understand it. England are playing Ecuador at the moment, but I'm sure there is a theory to it, but it will change. Are we playing Ecuador because they're top of the third place teams? Or actually Sweden are at the moment with a point. So does that change? As it stands, France will play Sweden. As it stands, Spain will play Austria. As it stands, Netherlands will play Morocco and Japan will play Brazil, obviously. As it stands, Portugal will play Ghana. And as it stands, England will play Ecuador. But I don't really understand as it stands at the moment. Yeah. Japan and Norway was my dark horse pick, says Tony. Thank you, Tony. Tunisia, the Dutch have scored already. Sorry. Let me just have a look. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah. They are 1-0 up. That is a shit start for Tunisia, who I think are out. Oh no, they've got 1 point. No, they haven't. They've got no points. Yeah, they're going to go. They're basically rubbish. They're already out. Yeah, they really are rubbish. There we go. Right, let me come to the chat here because have you got any bets on, Mark? Says Dan. No, I thought I had a bet builder for this, but I didn't. So because we're not working with Ball Sports on this one, so I didn't, which is a shame. If Japan wins, then it clinches Korea through, says TK Moon. Thank you very much. Senegal, final nail in the coffin, and the Scots are out, says WWFC. Hi, Mark. The Scots are out. The Scots are out. Absolutely. Hi, Mark. This is my first super chat. What did you think of the new season of Clarkson's Farm? I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, TJ? I did enjoy it, yeah. I'm always sad when it's over. This is the Dutch goal because I turned over too late. So it's on my screen now. Nice little ball into Brobby. Is that Mallon? Dumfries. And I think it goes in. It's an own goal, isn't it? Yeah, off the defender. Yeah. Can we have a Japan or Sweden to win, Paul? Because you asked nicely, yes. What if it's a draw? Japan are on the attack with Doan. He goes down off a little push. Won't get that. No way. Well, I'm looking forward to watching Japan because I've got them hitting the quarterfinals. And I don't know. I mean, that wasn't Doan on the run, was it? I'll have to double check. Okay, there's a poll on the result there. It was not. It wasn't Doan. It was Maeda. Does Neville give you a hydration break, Mark? Says Perry. And well, I always have I've got my water here. We could do with the bloody drinks sponsor. And I do like Huel, but I don't need a meal. I just need a drink, you know, like Volvic or Evian, or even an energy drink, something like that. Give Gary a call. Good evening from Dallas. Good morning to you. Need 3 goals and the booze is on me, says Grand Prairie. Thank you. England got a tough game with Ecuador. I think that will change though, won't it? Ecuador. Can that actually change, Irish Ryan, for England? Sorry to disturb a World Cup watch-along, but if United don't get Fernandes, they've wasted a month of the window. These lot need to go regardless what they do, says Neil. Yeah, just very quickly on some non-World Cup news. I feel I should cover this very quickly. So Elliot Anderson is going to Man City. Surprise, surprise. It was being reported it was 130 million, and now it's being reported it's 116 million. At this stage, Man City are literally going up yours to the Premier League charges, aren't they? They've got 116 charges and they spend 116 million on Anderson. Do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think that's a big up yours? I mean, it may well mean that Man City know they've beat the Chargers. It may well be we've beat the Chargers, and there's a big up yours to you. 2-0 to the Dutch, by the way. Let's see if we can get over there quick enough this time. I think it's Brobby who scored that one. Charlie says Tunisia are bad. Yeah, we're definitely watching the right game. I mean, Kansas looks amazing, though. There's so many. Again, why are there so many Dutch people at this World Cup? Or is it just that orange jumps out? Absolutely incredible. Oh, no, VAR check. VAR check. I tell you what. Goal given. This is the first time. I don't know whether something's going on. This is the first time I've noticed female referees in the World Cup. There's a female referee in the Germany game and there's a female referee in the Dutch game. Is there a reason for that? I ain't got a problem with it, but is there a reason why they're doing it in the third group game, or have we had them before? Because I haven't noticed any. So let me know about that. Is this the diva referee that sent off Almiron? Said MD. Harry, I haven't got a bet builder on today. No. Stephen's flying to America tomorrow. Apparently somebody said we have had female referees already in the World Cup. I've only noticed it today in the Germany game and the Dutch game. I ain't got a problem with it. If they're good at their job, you get the job. I've always said that. Well, actually, of course I've always said that. Who wouldn't say that? Well, actually, yeah, some people would not say that. But I like that referee. You know the one, I think she's Brazilian. Does she still do it? She's a blonde-haired lady. The clip always used to go around about her, like she seemed to get on with the players and have a lot of respect. I'm not too sure if she's a referee anymore, but I think she referees in Brazil, in the Brazilian league. We haven't got any female referees in the Premier League. Are you going to do Uruguay-Spain tomorrow? Uruguay wins the group if they somehow win, says Irish. I haven't decided on that one yet. I'll talk about that at half time. We have had female referees already, says Kimid and Aisha. Thank you very much on TikTok there. Thanks for the follows as well. Give us a follow, like Pro has just done. What did you think about the Ecuador-Germany match, says Woo Woo. Brilliant. Brilliant game of football. Absolutely fantastic. 56% are going with a Japan win, and 27% going with a Sweden win, 17% going with a draw. A lot of confidence in Japan. Yeah, I thought Ecuador were brilliant. I mean, obviously Germany know they're top of the group. It's a hard mentality. You know, it is a hard mentality when you know you're through. And Ecuador were playing for their very existence, weren't they? So I thought Ecuador played really well, but I don't think that was the best of Germany either. So yeah, very happy for Ecuador because they're a good team. Whoever gets them, whether it's England, that's going to be a tough game. Yeah, certainly. Jamie, thanks for your follow. Fulcrum as well, and Nana, thank you very much. I do read the TikTok comments as well. Dom, yes. Rice, I've had a super chat here on YouTube. Rice complaining about parking the bus is like a serial killer complaining about serial killers. No, it's like somebody in a heat. This is very topical. It's like being at work in a heat wave and complaining that John stinks of body odor, BO, when you do. Martin Tyler sounds old, says DS. Don't get the context, but thank you very much. Why are they refereeing the men's game? Says now. Oh dear. This is the thing. You make something, you make an observation, and it turns into a conversation. Yeah, we'll talk about that at half time. Not female referees. Whether I'm going to do Uruguay against Spain. Yes, just a little talk about the transfers. So Elliot Anderson going to Man City for £116 million when they've got 116 charges. Do you think it's a coincidence, or do you think it's Man City taking the piss out of the Premier League? I think they're taking the piss out of the Premier League anyway. I think spending £116 million up front, you know, there you go, Nottingham Forest, £116 million. I think it's just a piss take, but ultimately, my biggest frustration is that United have got no ambition at all and can't compete with Man City. Second story is that Arsenal are going to go for Bruno Guimaraes. Fantastic player. I wish United had gone for him. We were linked to him in March, and apparently we didn't go for him because he's 28. He's too old. The champions of England and the Champions League finalists are going to go for Bruno Guimaraes, but Man United decide he's too old. Idiots. Brilliant signing if Arsenal can pull it off, to be fair. I've always thought Bruno Guimaraes is a good player. Put him in an Arsenal team, I think they go up a level. I think he's a talisman for Newcastle, and it's a very clever signing from Arsenal if they can do it. So, you know, let's wait and see. Harry says England game was the only game I've seen silly fouls being given. Been a few this game waved on, makes the game so much more watchable. Yeah, I mean our game was shit. Although Harry, I'll keep saying it. The refereeing in that game was shit. I think they didn't let the game flow. Absolutely stupid fouls were given. And also, just so it's not England-centric, should have given a penalty to Ghana. So I thought the officiating in general in that game was absolutely shit. And I'm sure everybody that wanted England to lose would also agree as well. There have been 4 matches between European and South American national teams in the World Cup so far, and the South Americans have won them all, says Ramon. England need to step it up on Saturday night. You know, I know it's Panama, and there probably will be some rotation, but I think rhythm's more important than rotation. I think England need to start Kane and go as strong as we can, because if we don't, and we go into the Ecuador game without rhythm, I think we'll be in trouble. Mr. El Shamari's always got a good comment. He says Turkey and Panama are the only teams yet to score in this World Cup. Do you think they will score in their last games, which is against the US and England, or will they finish the tournament goalless? I think Turkey will score. I don't think Panama will. Thank you, Mr. El Shamari. Bruno to Arsenal fake. They won't sell both, surely, says Jack. Yeah, I know what you mean about Tonali, yeah. Are you doing the 3 a.m. USA games? I'm going to tell you what I'm doing at half time. I always do my schedule at half time. That's what we do. Also, Riley says that's a fake stat as well because Croatia beat Panama, who are from South America. I thought Panama were North American. So I think you might be wrong there, mate. Just saying, I think you might be wrong. I just want to go through this this Japan side, actually, because that's Doan, who plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. But this could be a team we need to know a little bit more about. So the goalkeeper is Suzuki. He plays for Parma in Italy. United got linked to him, actually, at one time. They've got Seko, Itakura and Ito as defenders. Seko is 26, plays for Le Havre. Who else did I say? Seko, Itakura and Ito. Ito plays for Bayern Munich, 27. Itakura, I can't see him. Oh, there he is, captain. Plays for Ajax. I should know that. Although, to be honest, I shouldn't know that because I don't really know much about... Ajax is a team that I would always know at least half of their players. I don't know nothing about Ajax anymore. They really have fell off, haven't they? I mean, that's the topic. Why have Ajax become so irrelevant? I think since they got rid of Ten Hag, and I'm not saying Ten Hag was the reason, but at that point, I would have known half of their team. I don't know half the team now. I think Weghorst plays for them and Itakura. Anyway, into their midfield, Sugawara, Tanaka, Kamada and Nakamura. Sugawara plays for Werder Bremen. Nakamura plays for Reims. Tanaka plays for Leeds, as we know. And Kamada plays for Crystal Palace, as we should know as well. So Sano, I think, is their best midfielder. They might be resting him. He plays for Mainz, so he's not starting. And then up front, or well, their front three, you've got Maida, who plays for Celtic. You should know who he is. You've got Doan, who plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. He's a good player as well. And then Widow, however you pronounce it, plays for Feyenoord, and he's had a very good season. Their main striker, number 18. So that's this Japan side that a lot of people have got of dark horses. But the thing about Japan is it's not really about the stars. I mean, Mitoma's sadly not there, but Japan is about team ethic. Japan is about work rate. They're a technically good side with an amazing work capacity and intensity. So let's see what they can do. Who do they play if they get through? Japan, Morocco, or Brazil? They're unfortunate, Japan and Netherlands and Morocco and Brazil, because they're going to have to play each other. They don't get a third place team, so those knockout games are going to be great. Certainly. Thoughts on Anderson to City and Fernandes to Spurs, both confirmed by Romano and Ornstein? Well, that's not been confirmed. Fernandes has not been confirmed. Daniel Svensson says Sweden are not that bad at all, not even everyone here. Mr. Solo says, I'd take Brobby at United for 40 million. Jason says, I love your channel. What's your three favourites to score any time for upcoming games? You're my favourite commentator. What's your three favourites to score any time for upcoming games? Well, easily Haaland and Mbappe tomorrow in the Norway-France game. And to score at any time, but I can't pick today's game. Well, I think Guaido will score, number 18 for Japan, actually. Let's make it interesting. I think he will score, even though we've had 20 minutes and I've only got 70 minutes for it to happen. Japan absolutely in control here at the moment. Sweden needs to win, of course. For Japan, it's looking difficult for them to top the group anyway, because the Netherlands have got their goal difference up. So looking at the group for Netherlands, even if Japan went 1-0 up, goal difference would be +5 and Netherlands is +6, and they've scored more goals. So Japan would need to, I think, look, Sweden can't lose, otherwise they're going home, and Japan need to score a hatful of goals to get top. I think we're going to see Japan against Brazil. And ultimately, Japan might not be... if Japan get Brazil, can I just say, I don't think Japan are going to get to the quarterfinals. I think they'll give them a good game, but it'll be difficult. It will be difficult. They could knock them out. Did you know Brobby said in an interview in 2022 that Man United is his dream club, says Rick. Yeah, we won't get him though, Rick. Rick Astley, we won't get him. Be too much of too much money. James says start, bench, sell, Coronation Street, Wolf of Wall Street, or Downing Street. Oh, they're all streets. Sorry, I was trying to. I thought Coronation Street's a show, Wolf of Wall Street's a film, and Downing Street is a street. I'll sell Downing Street, I'll bench Coronation Street, and I'll start Wolf of Wall Street. I like those ones. Just, I didn't like the Ledley King, Martin Luther King, or Burger King, because if you don't put Martin Luther King first, people would get very angry. And I did anyway. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok, by the way. Appreciate that. Brazil against Ivory Coast. No, that's not going to happen. Brazil will play second place of this group. Oh, good header there. Was that Doan? No, it was Maida. Good header. Well, it wasn't a good header. It was over the bar, but he probably isn't renowned for his heading skills. Yeah, we spoke about the Ecuador game 8. Very good. Very pleased with them. Commentators going on about Sweden's attack being 240 million. That's all good, but if the rest of the team ain't supplying them, then it's irrelevant. Yeah, Harry, absolutely spot on. Poor analysis, really, from commentary. It's like Lewandowski for Poland, isn't it? Lewandowski was one of the best strikers in the world when he was, playing in certain World Cups for Poland. Never did anything because he didn't have the players around him. TR6 says, I never got the Tuchel hype. He's pony and overrated. Oh, this is nonsense, mate. I mean, look, if I'm being completely fair, the first game against Croatia is probably the best we've played in a World Cup opener ever. And the tactical switch at half-time was brilliant. We were lazy against Ghana, but with 25 minutes to go, he takes off 2 of his midfielders for 2 attackers and tries to win the game. The players just didn't respond to it. I then see people going, if we'd had Cole Palmer and Trent, we'd be okay. And I think, you know what? It's this lazy, obvious fucking analysis that does my head in. Cole Palmer is a brilliant player who didn't have a good enough season to go to the World Cup. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, for whatever reason, I don't know, didn't get picked. You know, we want to move away from nepotism and favouritism. You know, if we'd picked those players and they didn't do very well, people would be saying we should have picked people on form. You know, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But I think Tuchel's a very good manager. I think the problem against Ghana was the players didn't respond. And they parked the bus. Do you think Oyari would fit at United, says Frederick? I think he's better than Baleba, but United aren't linked to him. Anderson, 130 million is way too much. I think he's worth 60. Well, apparently it's 116, Alick. And ultimately, it doesn't matter whether you think it's too much or not. As I said on X, Man City have paid what it takes to get the player they want. That's what you should do. That's what Liverpool did with Isak and Wirtz. If it doesn't work out, that's on the club. But Man City obviously paid what they thought was right to get the player they wanted. When are you going to apologise for predicting Ronaldo will not score a single goal this World Cup? Did you do that because it's the popular thing to do for clickbait, says GameStar? Yeah, I don't know whether you're trying to be funny or something, but I'm not Rory Jennings, mate. And I never predicted that. Hydration break. Ooh. I'm just going to turn this fan up a minute. Oh, get it right on my shorts. Yes, I'm stood right over my fan that shoots in the air, yeah. Oh, that's top class. That is good. That is good. I never said Ronaldo wasn't going to score in this World Cup. No, I didn't. So, I don't know what you're talking about, pal. I know Rory said it, and I said it to Rory. That's a very strange, very silly comment because it's going to come back and hurt you. Extremely unfortunate that Mitomo, Kubo, Endo, and Minamino are all injured. Minamino are all injured for Japan. I didn't realise Kubo was injured actually. That is really unfortunate for Japan. That's like 4 very important players. Kubo's a brilliant player and he's only 25. He will be okay though. I'm just reading here. Kubo is not playing against Sweden after missing the victory over Tunisia. The reason Kubo is out. It's a knee injury. He's not been ruled out of the rest of the competition yet. Maybe he is out of the tournament then. Yeah. Anik says you did. Mate, I know for a fact. If you can find that clip, I'll apologise. But I love Ronaldo. I would never say he's not going to score a goal in the World Cup. They were playing Uzbekistan. It just wouldn't come out of my mouth. Wouldn't. I know sometimes I've said I didn't say it and people have proved me wrong, but it wouldn't come out of my mouth because I laughed at Rory for doing it. I'm like, Portugal are playing Uzbekistan. He'll definitely get score against them. Tracy Barlow in Coronation Street or Janine in EastEnders, says Belka. What are we doing? Driving lessons? I know what you're probably thinking of doing, and I ain't answering that. Jed Spence or Trent, says Rua. Well, obviously Trent, but, you know, as Spursway says, I was shocked at Spence going instead of Trent. But there's obviously Harry Maguire. John Stones over Harry Maguire doesn't make a lot of sense either, but it's clearly been made for different reasons than we know. Squad unity, whatever, adaptability. The thing about Jed Spence is he can play left back and right back. And Trent can only play right back. So I think that's probably what it's all about. Hydration break over. Anderson, thank you very much for that. Thanks for your super chats. What did you think of Neymar's return, says Bernardo? I think it was a little bit soon. I'm English, followed the host. Thank you very much. Sorry. Thanks for the follow. I'm English and George. Appreciate you. Ali, you've said this 3 times now. England will only beat teams by out-muscling them. I mean, I didn't read it the first time because it's a shit comment. It's terrible analysis. Literally watch the video. You told him that Cristiano would score in the first game, says K Miller Music. Simpsons predict Ronaldo wins World Cup against Mexico, says Try Hard Games. How do you think Australia will go today? We'll talk about that at half time. Okay, sorry, I'm just doing some tidying up in the chat. Thanks for the follow, Disky, Bernardo, and George. Of course, from Sweden's point of view, a draw will get them through because it'll put them on 4 points, as you can see there. As it stands, they're on 4 with a draw, which will put them through. Because in the race for 3rd place at the moment, Scotland are on the very edge. They're in 8th place in the 3rd place rankings. And of course, there are still at least, well, there's 4 teams below them who haven't played yet. Cape Verde, Belgium, Democratic Congo, and Senegal. So there are still teams that can go past Scotland are going home. But if you can get 4 points, you're laughing. 4 points, you're guaranteed to go through. If Sweden were to lose, they might still do it with a -1 goal difference if they lose by 1 goal. But nervous waits for Algeria and Paraguay as well. Lalo and Liam, thanks for your follows. And Louis. I'm not on Twitch, Wilson. We're on TikTok and YouTube, so I can't be reading Twitch comments. Situation, you and your friends are invited to a party hosted by a girl you like. You're allowed to choose 3 celebrities of your choice to impress her. Who are you choosing and why? I'm not answering that, 85th cousin. I'm a happily married man. You're just trying to get me on a subtle one, aren't you? I'm not going. Full stop. I know the answer to that, mate. Not going. I'm just going to stay at home and stay out of trouble, thanks. And not answer your comment. Hold on a minute. There's some pushing going on there. I don't think you can... To be honest, I think that's a foul on the Japanese striker. I know it would have been soft, but you can't grab their shirt and then shove them in the back. Daniel says you should get a portable air conditioner. Game changer. Yeah, would have done, mate, but was snooze you lose on that one. Absolutely coining it in if you've got if you're selling air conditioning units in the UK at the moment. I'm Irish. I just always thought he was a BTEC coach, says TR. Football Edits, thanks for the follow. No worries, Wilson. This is on the BBC tonight, Harry. BBC have had both games tonight, which is a shame because we don't get to see the New York backdrop. ITV basically getting the day off. I think Gary's had the day off today because he's not replied to any of my messages. I think he's gone on a day trip to Central Park. He's gone for a picnic. If you're Australia or Algeria, would you want to lose tomorrow to finish third and get Switzerland, or win and get second and play Spain? I mean, that's quite interesting, Jack, isn't it, really? Oh, we're going to get a yellow card here. We don't see many of these. He ain't happy about it. The number 4 for Sweden. But it's 100% a yellow card. You pulled his shirt, mate. You can't do that. Atalanta, Isaac Keane. Victor Lindelof is the captain for Sweden. Lagerbiek plays for Braga. That's their 3 centre-backs. Yeah, that Austria-Algeria game, I mean, look, Ricky was on about it saying they could just play out a draw or something like that. That's always going to happen. Someone's got to play last, and it's an advantage. Yeah, Gary's gone for a mini retirement, yeah. Do you think France-Norway will play starters? Well, I would, because I think the advantage of finishing top is a big one, because as it stands, France will play a third-place team and Norway will play Ivory Coast. So topping the group gives you a better route. Look, Norway might play their reserves and just say we're happy to be going through, but I think you've got to be in it to win it, and some people think Norway can. Reese McLeod, I will go through what we're doing at half-time. Quiet Man, Manny and TM, thanks for your follows. Do you like doing these games? I do. I like the... Yeah, to be honest, I will be sad when it stops. It's been... I know there's been a slight drop-off this week. The first week we were doing nearly every day till 3 in the morning. But I think, to be honest, in hindsight, most of the games I've missed in the early hours, I was right to miss. But look, I'm doing England-Panama on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Probably have a couple of drinks. I'm not leaving you. I'm doing Colombia-Portugal. My first chance to watch Colombia, actually. And that's going to be a good game. So, yeah, a few late ones coming up. I already know a knockout game I'm not going to watch, by the way. Controversial, but the 4 o'clock game in the morning is going to be... it's next week. It's a 4 a.m. game, and it's Switzerland, Algeria at 4 a.m. Well, I might do it, but I don't know. I might skip the alarm for that. Carrie, Fantana, and Ennio, thank you very much for your follows. Swedish player's gone down here. I don't know what he's done. He's, I think he might have winded himself. Oh, I don't think he did wind himself. I think he's hurt his leg. Yeah, cameraman's followed the ball there. I think he might have been done something to his hip. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. I wonder if he's dislocated his hip. Referee's trying to get him off. I mean, I think in this case, you might have to wait. Referee's there going, get him off, get him off. He's got a neck injury. Move him. You never move people with a neck. He hasn't got a neck injury. Oh, he's standing up though. Watch that left hip. Referee's trying to get the game going. Yeah, he's done. He's done. Look, to be fair, the policy works. Get them off the pitch if they can. Get the game on. But it looked like he did something to his left thigh or hip there. Have you any hope for United this summer? I'm stressing, says TR. No, mate, there's always hope. There's always hope. Fernandez hasn't signed for Spurs, no. Cam, thanks for your follow. Is it fun being famous, says Alm. I'm not famous. Anderson has signed for City for 116 million, says Matthew. What? When? What? Matthew's just broke it. Sit down, Ornstein. Sit down, Romano. Matthew Bear's just broken something we've known for about 3 hours. But no, yeah. I mean, it was inevitable, Matthew, really, wasn't it? Underrated player of the tournament so far, Mark, says Stardust. Ooh, I'd love to know what people think. I really would. Underrated player of the tournament so far. You know what? I think there's so many players that are rated. Vinicius Junior, Messi, Haaland, Mbappe. I think there's so many players that actually have been rated. So underrated. Under the radar, basically. I think Brobby's been a good... Brobby's a good shout. Yeah. Cunha's a good shout, and I'll always shout that out. He's down here. I feel bad for him. Hein of Sweden. The same place. Yeah, 27, vice captain. Probably his last World Cup, and he's down. I wonder who they'll bring on. Just looking at their bench. Sweden need to get their attacking talent into this, with the likes of Gyökeres, Isak and Alanga. They really do. Hope your day's gone all right, Mark. My nuts have been stuck to the inside of my leg all day. Brutal heat, says Chapman. Yeah, yeah, it's I said this last night. Like, we've had a wall knocked down in our living room, and it's been replastered. And there was 4 lads here today, because obviously it's quite, it's a structural thing, isn't it? Well, actually, they've been here for the last 2 or 3 days, and scorching hot weather, just doing their job. And then there's other jobs where, well, like I say, Seb went to school today. It was optional. Half his class didn't go. He went to school. Half his class went to school. Look, personal choice, but I just think, I can't go into work, or I can't go to school because it's going to be hot. Yeah, we've just booked 2 weeks in Dubai. Yeah. Wow, it's not the same. They're not sat in a classroom. No, they're sat in the sun. I don't know. You know my stance on it. I'm a big believer in hard work and not sitting on your arse. Although I am sat on my arse. Do you think France-Norway will play starters? We did that one. MD says, Goldbridge, you are just a top bloke, aren't you? Well, I don't know about that, but thank you very much for your lovely message. It has been hot today. It has been hot today. I'm not going to lie, but, it's cold sometimes as well, isn't it? I actually think getting on with stuff makes it easier as well. Otherwise, you just sat there in your pants going, it's hot. It's hot. I tell you what I have enjoyed, though. When the sun goes down and it's still about 25 degrees. I think that's, you go out in your garden or you go for a walk. That's quite good. The problem we have in the UK is keeping your house. Our houses are built for, keeping it warm because it's a crap climate. So the minute we get like Mediterranean weather or wherever it's hot weather, the houses just conduct heat. Skylar says, if you haven't seen a game with this ref, you're in for a treat. He's from Concacaf and loses control of every game. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. Declan Rice, 105 million a few years ago to Arsenal. 116 for Arsenal. Is that too much? For Anderson, is that too much? Says, no, I don't think it is, Mr. Porn Pusher. I don't. I also think that, you know, it's not like they've paid 200 million pounds for him. We knew Elliot Anderson was going to go for 100 million pounds because Caicedo and Rice did. So we knew it was going to be 100 million pounds. They paid 16 million more than that. In the context of it, it's a 10% increase on Declan Rice, who went 3 years ago. So I don't think it's yeah. You pay for what you want, don't you? Ultimately, if they didn't pay that, he'd still be at Forest. So do you walk away or do you get the player that you want? Man City can afford to do it. They're ambitious. What I will say is, Pep's not there anymore. Charges are hanging over them. Elliot Anderson's probably pretty confident that everything's going to be okay. Finance Bro says, I'm American. I'd say that McKennie and Adams are underrated players of the tournament so far. Yeah, I think those types of players are probably right. Do you think United should go for Bergvall? Says Andy. I've forgotten about Bergvall. I mean, I suppose it could be an option. Swall says you're watching the wrong game, Mark. Well, I'm not, because Netherlands are going to beat Tunisia, aren't they? Whereas this game, if Sweden don't score, they're probably going out. Sorry, if Sweden lose, they're going out. And Japan still will want to try and win the game to top the group and avoid Brazil. Bergvall's on the bench for Sweden today. Not a starter, which, you know, maybe that's a cause for concern. Oh, sorry, Bergvall's on the pitch now, sorry. He wasn't a starter. Bergvall is on now because he's on the ball. And he loses it. Although, he's won it back there. Oh no, he's fouled Doan. A bit late there. Could have got a yellow. Thanks for the follow, FT Dan and Arthur and Myth. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hi Mark, your view top 3 most likely United transfers. I still think Fernandes is likely until he signs for Spurs, if he signs for Spurs. So I'd still put him in there until it's not possible. Good play by Japan. Cross is good. Oh, they were right across the 6-yard box for Japan and nobody got on the end of it. Could this be a 0-0? Well, I'd like to say I don't do 0-0s, but that'd be bullshit. So, yeah, I say Mateus Fernandes. Oh, God, mate, I don't know. I'd still say Balaba's probably going to happen, isn't it? And who else? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's very difficult to predict with United. Mystique. Why is everyone in chat shouting Bergvall? We need 2 world-class midfielders to even challenge for the Premier League, never mind 4 competitions, says Spam. Thank you so much. Japan have definitely been the better team, I think. I almost feel like Sweden are playing for a draw, which I hate. 55% possession for Japan. 3 shots to Sweden's 1. Yeah, Sweden aren't going out of their way to win this game at the moment. Lovely technical play here by Japan. Oh, good save by the keeper. That was lovely play by Japan. That was good play by Japan, that was. Maeda. And good save by the keeper. Zetterstrom. It was Nakamura with the shot. Zetterstrom plays for Derby County. Interesting, didn't know that. So Derby County's goalkeeper for Sweden. Championship Derby County. Nearly made the playoffs last year. They've also got Stokes goalkeeper as well on their bench. Who would you say Sweden's best player? It's got to be Isak. Although he's been very quiet in this half. Carl says, do you think Chumini news is big from Andy Mitten? I saw it, but it's only what I mean, look, I like Andy Mitten. He's decent. Obviously, he's got connections into the club. But I've been saying this for 2 months. I just don't, you know, people don't want to believe I know anything. So they've been proven wrong. I knew about Alexis Sanchez 2 weeks before it happened, and that was how many years ago. So sometimes we do get stuff. I've been saying for 2 months that we spoke to Chouamini back in March, and that if Real Madrid sell him, he'd be happy to come to Man United. That's literally what Andy Mitten has updated tonight. So I'm very happy that he's done that, because I know it's true. Chouamini will come to Man United if we want him and Real Madrid sell him. Been saying it for ages, and I know that from Chouamini's side. So the question is, if we get Fernandes, would we go for both, or is it an either or? That's going to be the thing. Sweden are trying to avoid Brazil, Mark. That's why. Yeah, if Sweden win, they go second, and they'd play Brazil. Potter. You're right. He's just, you know, Potter knows what he's doing. Have you seen the King Shot mobile game, says Rory, being advertised by various England players? It's pronounced Rory. Don't worry, I've had it all my life. Haven't seen it, no. Anyone got any comments on that? Stardust says 116 million is quite an ironic fee from City. I think they've done it on purpose, mate. I just think 116 million when you've got 116 charges. I thought straight away that's City sending a message, but you know, it might be a coincidence. What games have you got coming up? Well, I'm going to have a look at, we'll go through the next few days and the round of 32, what we know is happening there as well. Thanks everybody who subscribed, by the way, on YouTube. We're at 489,500 now, so we're getting close to 490. So on the road to 1.5 million. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, Sweden have a corner here. It's not a bad one, but the keeper, Suzuki, punches it away. We've only got about a minute left of this first half. 0-0 at the moment. Netherlands are beating Tunisia 2-0, so they would top the group at the moment. It's still hot. Try not to think about it, you see. That's why you should just go to work and get on with it. Yeah, it is hot, but you know, we're doing all right. What did you think about the Sidemen on the BBC? Wow. They get to sit and watch a blood. They get to sit and do a watch along with the match footage. I mean, that's. I'm sure someone's done that before, but no. I mean, look. At the end of the day, they're a good set of lads, and I like the concept. We sort of started it with the Bundesliga, so hopefully we'll see more and more of it. I think the concept of the watch along is that it's great if you've got the match footage as well. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea. I think they probably picked the right people because it's the Sidemen, but if they want football chat, it would be nice to be considered in the future. Narima and Cash, thanks for the follow. It's half time here, and not a hell of a lot to report as we approach 1 a.m. Don't really like 0-0s at 1 a.m, but I think there might be something in what was said a moment ago. Are Sweden playing for the draw, knowing it will put them into third place? Although, as it stands with Sweden in third place, yes, if they beat Japan and finish second, they'd be playing Brazil. But in third place, they play France as it stands. So I don't know whether that, maybe they'd rather take their chances in third place and see if that changes than. But that's assuming Sweden can beat Japan, which I don't think is I don't think that's a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination, to be honest with you. Not at all. Okay, let me just come back to the chat here. Thanks everybody who's tuning in. 7,000 on YouTube on at 1 a.m. on a Thursday morning for Japan against Sweden is fantastic. And thanks everyone on TikTok as well. Loads of people giving us a follow there, like Cash and Narima. I am going to go through what our schedule is for the next few days and give you an insight into what's coming in the round of 32. Do you feel tired? No. Why is Mark Goldbridge carrot cake incident coming back again? I'm on TikTok and I've seen that a few times now. At the old house, I had a carrot cake and it had like a little carrot on it, and I showed it to everybody. I went, look at that, and it fell on my computer. Oh, I could eat some of that now. It's funny how old clips come back. I always feel like a narcissist going on TikTok because my suggested videos tend to be me. I think that is a bit narcissist, isn't it? Love from Boston, USA, says Mark. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from. If United are only going to sign one midfielder, who would you choose from Tchouameni, Tonali and Fernandes? Well, definitely Tonali or Tchouameni, because they are marquee signings who can come in with experience. Can you rank Mr. Bean, Baked Beans, or... Yeah, not reading that. Jamie? He basically said Bean and flicking. Yeah, nearly caught me out. My enthusiasm of these out-of-the-box start bench sales nearly caught me out, but I saw it. Sweden are trying to avoid Brazil. Thank you very much. Leon and Ian, thank you very much for your follows as well. Okay, let me tell you what's going on over the next few days on That's Football, the home of football watch-alongs. We've been at this now for 2 weeks. 2 weeks we've been doing this now. I think the first week went really slow. I think this week's gone really quick. First week of the World Cup, I felt was like quite slow. Second week has gone like that. Really has gone quick. 2 weeks gone. Still technically 3.5 weeks left of this World Cup, so don't start feeling sad yet. I think it's been a great World Cup, by the way. I think the officiating has been really good, as I've said. The games have flowed. It's made it better to watch. The stadiums, the atmospheres. So many stars scoring goals as well. I think when you, I mean, just listen to this for a minute. It's amazing. Top scorers in the World Cup so far. Listen to this: Messi with 5, Vinicius Junior 4, Kylian Mbappe 4, Erling Haaland 4. The top 4 players scorers are Messi, Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, and Haaland. I mean, that is just, elite, isn't it? The big players are turning up, basically. Even Ronaldo's got 2 now. So, yeah, very, very good World Cup, I think. Ahmed says, what's your thoughts on City under Maresco? It is a World Cup watch-along, mate. Maybe I'll talk about that in the second half. But to be honest, I don't know. It's an unknown quantity, isn't it? But it looks like they're going to back him. How many more weeks of the World Cup? 3.5. 3 weeks on Sunday is the final. So anyway, this is what we've got coming up for you. I'll go through all the games and I'll tell you what we're doing. So 3 a.m, Paraguay, Australia, Turkey, United States. I'm not doing that because United States have already topped the group and Turkey are going home. So the only jeopardy is Paraguay, Australia. Good luck to Australia. Hopefully they'll make it through. It'd be nice for them to stay in it. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we are on it. Norway, France. Looking forward to that. A Friday night thriller. Haaland against Mbappe, both going for first place, and they will go for first place because it's beneficial for them. 1 a.m, not decided about this yet. Uruguay, Spain at 1 a.m. I'm thinking I probably am 90% going to do it. So 1 a.m. tomorrow, Uruguay, Spain, because there's still jeopardy there. If Uruguay lose, they're going home. If they draw, they're probably going home. If they win, they're not, but they'd go past Spain. So interesting game, Uruguay-Spain. There is a 4 a.m. game. I'm not doing it because I think this is the worst group of the tournament. I don't know if anyone wants to challenge me on this. Group G, the most irrelevantly boring group of the tournament. Egypt, Iran, New Zealand and Belgium. I'm not digging out any of those countries, but it's just a real yawn fest. And I'm definitely not getting up at 4 o'clock for that. Saturday night, 10 o'clock, Panama, England, live. And then straight after that, Colombia, Portugal at midnight will be a cracker because, again, it's about who's going to top that group. And I haven't seen Colombia yet, so looking forward to that. And then the final group game is 3 a.m. on Saturday, which realistically, Argentina are already top, Jordan are already going home, and Algeria and Austria could play the most boring game in World Cup history as they do the result that benefits them both to go through because they'll know what it takes. And then on Sunday, it's the last 32, and we know this game. We know this game. We know the last 32 game at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. It's South Africa against Canada, and isn't that amazing? You know, we're going to see Japan probably playing Brazil, Netherlands playing Morocco, and then South Africa are playing Canada in the same group round to go through. Canada or South Africa will be in the last 16. I know a lot of South Africans. I think it'd be great for South Africa to get to the last 16, and also Canada are a host, so it'd be great. So I think that for me, as a neutral, it's just going to be very exciting to watch. Only one game on Sunday night, no early games. And then on Monday, we're in for an absolute cracker. 6 o'clock, Brazil play whoever they're going to play. 9:30, Germany play whoever they're going to play. And then 2 a.m, Morocco play whoever they're going to play. Probably Netherlands or Japan. So 3 brilliant games on Monday. And Tuesday, we're sort of moving into the area where we don't know yet. But Ivory Coast are playing at 6 for sure. And yeah, the other places are a little bit unknown at the moment. But that's what it's looking like. Monday night looks really good in the knockout stages. Brazil, Germany games, and Morocco's game. And of course, Brazil will play whoever comes second in this group. And at the moment, that's Japan. Are Sweden playing a little bit of a dangerous game? Potentially. Potentially. If they lose, they might be in trouble. But a draw puts them through. I don't think they're good. I don't think Sweden are good enough to beat Japan. That's sort of my stance on it. I don't think they are good enough to beat Japan. You might think differently. I don't. Just wondering if it's raining. I think we're meant to be getting a bit of thunder tonight. Who would you want for United? Hugo Larsson or Lucas Bergvall or Yasin Ayari? Why is Hugo Larsson not playing for Sweden? Just made me think. Is he on the bench? Well, that's a good point. I mean, he's a good player for Frankfurt. I would have thought he would be there. Is he injured? Didn't get called up. Well, that's a bit of a shame. I think he's a good player. Yeah, it's not 1-0 to Japan because they haven't actually kicked off yet. Hi, Mark. Sorry if you've been asked this. Oh, here we go. But up to this point, how does the World Cup compare to Qatar in your opinion? Oh, this is always controversial. I don't really get it, but there are some people out there who are Qatar hipsters. I don't mean that. Qatar. Some people just absolutely will not have a bad word said about Qatar. I didn't like it that it was played at Christmas, and I didn't really think it was that good having stadiums that didn't really have a lot of life to them and were all within about 10 minutes of each other. So I didn't massively like the Qatar World Cup. I thought it was okay. This World Cup just feels like a World Cup. I wouldn't say Qatar was crap. I thought the final was very good. I think some of the games were good, but I think this is a proper World Cup. I really enjoyed 94 as a kid. And I think this has got 94 vibes about it. And I hope its legacy is a little bit like 94 as well. Because I felt like 94 did have its own vibe. And I think this feels like it as well. So, look, also, I think there are things that are happening in this World Cup that don't normally happen, like the fact that Messi and Vinicius Junior and Mbappe and Haaland are scoring goals. Big players are turning up for this tournament so far. Big crowds are turning up so far. It's the biggest World Cup we've ever had. And I don't think that's been a problem, by the way. My fear was the World Cup was too big. I've got to put my hand up and say, obviously they're doing it for money, but I don't feel like it has been too big. It's been more competitive than I thought it was going to be. My problem was I thought teams were going to get beat 7-8-0 on the regular, and certain players were going to be stat padding. I think it has been better. And also, I think it's probably the most innovative World Cup we've ever had in relation to its impact on the future of the game. I think if this is the blueprint for how FIFA want football to be played, quick throw-ins, quick corners, soft fouls not being given, its legacy could be brilliant. I think the only downside is probably the hydration break. Yeah. Razla, thanks very much for the follow on TikTok. Are Japan and Sweden going to score, says Andrea on TikTok as well. I hope so, mate, because I don't want to do a 0-0. I didn't answer your question, Friedrich. I would take Bergvall over Ayari and Larson. Dan says there's no such thing as a Gruffalo. Have you read the Gruffalo, says Harvey. Yeah, I used to read it to one of my daughters, and I used to watch the programme that they did at Christmas. Any watch-alongs tomorrow? Yes. Norway. Yeah, Norway against France. Big game, that. Oh, God. I'm so fed up of going on X. And there seems... I don't know whether anyone else has noticed this, but... there seems to be an influx this year of new accounts who pretend they're aggregators, and then put fake quotes out, and people fall for it. Or Romano's come out and sort of played down the Enmicha story, which I did as well. I thought it was a load of bollocks. Tonali's given his green light to go to Tottenham. Just got to agree a fee. It's been a long... I'll tell you what, this has been a long half time. What did you think about Steve Clarke's comments after the Scotland game? I think it probably offended people who gave a shit more than it offended me. I think that... look... It's the difficulty these days of being a manager or a professional footballer. The media obligations are there, and you're expected to speak to the media. He was a little bit short and pissed off, and a lot of Scottish people would have wanted more of an explanation. But realistically, yeah, it's not that big a deal for me. Ben Jacobs has given an update on this Bruno Guimaraes story. Arsenal have had contact with Bruno Guimaraes' camp, similar exploratory approach to one Man United made before the window. No contact with Newcastle of Thursday evening, nor do Newcastle wish to sell. Also, one of the clubs considering Alex Scott, along with Man United and Spurs. Latter could advance if they fail to land Fernandes/Tonali. Boadi also on Arsenal's list as they assess several midfield options, and Arsenal have made contact with Tonali in January. Birds are content to explore different options before deciding on any bids. Must be great to be an Arsenal fan. You know, you might get Tonali, you might get Boadi, you might get Bruno Gomes, you might get Alex Scott, and you're assessing your options. And you can guarantee they'll get one of them. Right, second half about to start here. That's it. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to come back to that game tomorrow night between Uruguay and Spain, actually. Quite an interesting game because if Uruguay... I think even if Uruguay draw, they're going home, aren't they? Let's have a look. Tables and schedule. Spain and Uruguay's group is Group H. Yeah, so Uruguay are in second place. You can go through in second place, funnily enough. Uruguay are in second place, but they can't hold it if they lose. There's no result that keeps them... If they lose, they won't stay in second place. They're on 2 points and they can't stay there if they lose, because if Saudi Arabia win, they go to 4. If Cape Verde win, they go to 5. And if they draw, Cape Verde go to 3. So if Uruguay lose to Spain, they're going home. If they draw, they might go through as a best third place team, but 3 points might not be enough. So Uruguay, to make sure they go through, probably need to win. If they win, they go above Spain. So it's an interesting one tomorrow for Uruguay, who haven't really played particularly well, have they? What's been your best moment of the World Cup so far, says Hex? I think it wasn't a moment. I think the Messi hat-trick so far. Because it was an early morning game and I was tired, and I think I'd have fell asleep if it wasn't for that. MPC board says, a bit off topic, what's the worst decision you've been seeing in a Sunday League game? Love the streams. Nothing massively comes to mind. I mean, I've seen bad decisions at all levels, whether I was playing or not. I think the worst decision that ever happened to me is, I don't think it was a Sunday morning game. I think it was a Saturday afternoon game, and I was about 16. And I was playing in the midfield, and this lad came running towards me. I used the outside of my foot, moved the ball away, and left my leg like that. You know, the whole of my side of my leg. I'm not, no word of a lie. The injury looked like this: blood all down my leg, where studs had gone in, about 6 inches from my groin. Could have took that off, considering how big that. No. And then stud track marks all the way down to my knee. So went in at the top of my inside of my thigh, and then stud marks all the way down to my knee. The ball was on the fucking floor. I just moved it away like that, left my leg there. He hit me that high and scraped all down my leg. And it wasn't just a scrape, it was like bleeding, right? I went down on the floor. Coach came on, you know, magic sponge and all that lot. And I couldn't walk on it at first. And then I saw the referee gave a throw in and didn't even book him, and I ran back on the pitch and I got booked. I was like, mate, look at my fucking leg. Look at my leg. Didn't even give a foul. Gave a throw in. I got booked for telling him he was a fucking useless dickhead. And I had to get subbed off, otherwise he was going to send me off. So basically, get assaulted on the pitch and get subbed off for, otherwise you get sent off. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I know it happened. I know there's a bit of bias there, but I was like, mate, the evidence is there. You can see what he's done. You don't need bloody VAR for that. Look at my legs. Ghost Hawk says I'd have punched the ref. Yeah, well, I don't believe in violence, but yeah, that I'd like to say it happened to somebody else, but it happened to me, and I think it's one of the worst decisions I've ever bloody seen, because it wasn't even a bouncing ball, and even if it fucking was, look at my leg. A bit off topic. Well, there you go, NPC board. Thank you very much. Mohammed and Ishmael, thank you very much for the follows. Proof or it didn't happen, says Beat Drake. Well, mate, you can believe it or not. There's no skin off my nose, but I ain't going to have your proof for you because there was no internet and there was no bloody cameras. Who would you want for United? I've done that one from Frederick. Thank you very much. Thanks for your super chats. Webbo says it's hot in the UK. I don't know whether it's cooling down or just the fact that I'm sat on my arse. Current weather in the UK as it stands is it's 23 degrees at the moment. We're meant to be getting some thunder showers. I'll tell you what, if we get some thunder showers, I'm going to have to run out into the kitchen because the skylight's open, wide open. And that, you don't want that. My dog could get hit by lightning through the skylight. I mean, that I'd be on news, wouldn't I? I'd be like, what are the chances that it comes through the skylight that's only that big? Just can't believe it. I can't believe she's gone. Rest in peace, Lila. I mean, it's hypothetical. We don't need... I was actually getting really sad then. If only I'd shut the skylight. Can thunder come through... Oh, I don't want to get stuck on this again. Can lightning come through a skylight? I think anything's possible. Did you know the final third tiebreaker rule for third place teams comes down to FIFA rankings, says Brendan. I don't understand the third tiebreaker thing anyway. I don't want this to be 0-0 though. Japan on the attack. Sweden definitely playing for a draw. Shoot, mate. Oh, it deflects. Keeps it in. Come on, Japan. Or Sweden. Oh, why didn't you shoot on the back post? Japan just overplaying it here. Oh, what a save. If he's not offside, that is an incredible save. He was offside. Bloody hell. Real Joe says, what a save. I mean, this is offside, but imagine if this hadn't been offside. Look, watch this. Fucking hell. That's reactions, that is. I mean, he's volleyed it at him from about 6 yards away. Not 6 yards, but great reactions from a Derby County keeper. Tunisia have just scored. Well, that makes it interesting because if Japan can get in front, they could still finish top of the group. That's a lovely view, isn't it? This is Dallas. Crooked Soul says, remember when your parents unplugged the TV and put a towel over the knives and spoons when there was lightning? I don't remember them putting a tea towel over the knives, but I remember. You know what? I love those sort of things. That's something I never would have remembered again in my life unless somebody told me about it. Yeah, when we used to get thunder in the 90s, you used to have to turn the TV off. I tell you, I'd be going mad. I'd be like, Noel's house party's on. We used to turn the telly off if there was a thunderstorm. No one does it now. Is that because the people don't use aerials now? It's all online. That's true. We used to turn the telly off. Japan are having a go here. Who you got in the Norway-France game tomorrow? I think France, probably. Yeah. Yeah. This is the Tunisia goal from a corner. Good goal. Hey, Mark, you can take one player for United. Who? Where am I taking them from, Mystic? Anywhere. I would... One player to change Man United's future. I think you've got to look at a midfielder, haven't you? And it's whether you go for someone like a Caicedo would be very good, you know. The profile of Caicedo next to someone like Mainu would be very good. Or you could go for someone like João Neves. But I think you've got to go for that. Look, I know he plays for Man City and he's probably... You've got to go. You've got to go. Rodri's, Caicedo's, Declan Rice, people like that. Lovely play. What a fucking goal! What a fucking goal by Japan. That is liquid football. Maeda of Celtic. What a goal! What a goal! What a goal by Japan. Again, I was clapping them against England in Wembley back in March. They've done it again. They are so good. They are so good at playing football, Japan. That is absolutely elite. Brilliant game. It's not a brilliant game. Brilliant goal. Absolutely carved them up here. Look at this. Look at the way they knock the ball about. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's one of the best team goals of the tournament, that. What did I tell you about Japan and their team ethic and their work rate? Incredible. They're so technically good. They're so technically good. Great goal. I like Japan. I like them. It's a shame that they're going to have to probably play Brazil in the last 32 because I think they're the sort of team that you want to go through. What a pass by Doan. I think the whole move was good. Mark doesn't do nil-nils, Jonathan. Well, I did do England, didn't I? But yeah. The true dark horses. What does that do for the standings? I'll show you now. It's still Netherlands are still top, but the goal difference. I think Japan would need to score again. The problem is for Sweden. We get a good game now because Sweden have to come out because they've only got 3 points. So that's how it looks. Sweden on 3 points with a -1. Japan. There. Let's have a look. I can't read that one. Let me use mine. Yeah, Japan and so this is really exciting because Japan and Netherlands have the same goal difference, but Netherlands are above because they've scored more goals. So if Japan score again and the Netherlands don't, Japan would go top. So Japan need to score again and they would be top. Sweden, with a -1, could be heading home. Although they're probably okay. Okay, Sweden have got a very good goals for, so they're still okay. If they concede again, they're in trouble. But Sweden have got to go for it now. They don't want to put themselves in that position. And Japan, if they want top of the group, they need to go for it again as well. Kevin says they like calling Ecuador frauds, but we like beating the best teams. I thought Ecuador looked good against Ivory Coast. They just lost. Ecuador are a bit of a sleeping... one to watch. See, suddenly Sweden are attacking now, having not attacked for most of the game. Thanks for the follow, Yasmin and Hamish and Chaza. I've woke someone up there. Kyle says, what's the best joke or prank you've ever done? I mean, I've done a few. I did one. I'm not telling the story. I did do one, and I thought it was hilarious at the time, but looking back on it now, it was quite cruel. So I'm not going to tell that one. We did do one. There was this lad in our class at secondary school who was a bit of a bully, and it was me. No, it wasn't. And he was a bit of a bully. He used to, you know, physically a bully. He'd pick on, like, the nerds. And one day we'd had enough of him. So we basically, at the end of school, used to have to walk down to the bus park to get the buses. So we grabbed hold of him, put him up against the tree. Two of us grabbed his arm, so it looked like he was hugging the tree. And then two of us had 3 rolls of sellotape and just went round and round and round and round, all 3 rolls of it, and left him. But the hilarious thing was, from like 10 meters away, which was where everyone was walking past, he's trying to get away from the tree because he's got to catch his bus, and there's only about an inch of movement, so it looks like he's shagging the tree as he's trying to get away. If we'd have had phones, it would have been great. But yeah, it looked like he was shagging a tree, which actually wasn't part of the plan. It was actually just to sellotape him to the tree to teach him a lesson. But the added bonus was, as he tried to get free, and he did get a free eventually, it did look like he was shagging a tree. Miz says, I watched Goldbridge too much because I've already heard the story. Yeah, and when I told that story, it was probably a few years ago. Flip side, one United player you'd drive to the airport. One player I'd get rid of. Depends if I get money for them. I mean, I don't dislike Mason Mount, but if somebody said I could have £30 million for him, I'd do it because he's so injury prone. Alanga, oh my God, what a goal. Out of absolutely nothing. I think the keeper should save this, but it's a brilliant goal. I think he just sees it late, and Alanga has just hit an absolute banger. A banger by Alanga. That is fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant by Alanga. Out of nothing. Out of absolutely nothing. I need to see the goalkeeper here because I think he might have saved it, but I don't want to take anything away from Alanga. Cuts inside on his left foot. Yeah, keeper's got to save that. That's travelled a long way. Look, it's a good finish by Alanga, but I don't even know if it's a shot or a cross. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's a shot cross, but no, keeper's reacted too late there. I think keeper should do better. I think the goalkeeper is thinking someone's going to get their head on it and then realises too late they're not. Rudolph the Red says, why does this super chat work but none of my others? Great strike. Good goal for Netherlands as well. Japan would need to score twice to overturn the Netherlands' goal difference unless Tunisia equalise. Thunder in the south. Yeah, I need to be very wary of that because that skylight is open. We're all right at the moment. I mean, part of me thinks I should just go and close the skylight, but you know, I don't want to leave you unattended. I might do it on the hydration break actually. Yeah, it looks like Japan are going to have to play Brazil. I mean, to be honest, though, you say Japan will be trying to avoid Brazil. If they finish top of the group, you play Morocco. I just think those two games are going to be very good, but they're being played too early. Brazil, Japan, Morocco, Netherlands, they feel like quarterfinals, not round of 32. Flip side, thank you very much. Maximilian, thanks very much for your follow. And Sly. God, we've got nearly 8,000 watching this at 1:25 a.m. Incredible community that we've got going on for this World Cup. More tomorrow. France, Norway at 8 o'clock. And Spain against Uruguay at 1 a.m. Uruguay could be heading home or topping the group. Yeah, it is still hot. It's 23 degrees. It'd be nice if we do have a thunderstorm, because that sort of clears the clouds, doesn't it? Get a bit of a breeze going on. Sweden looking to try and win this now. Yeah, they got the tail between the legs. Well, no, they've got the tails up now, Sweden. It's my birthday. Can you wish me a happy birthday, says Christina. Happy birthday. Majid says YouTube are censoring certain subjects. "23 degrees at 1:26 in the morning is hot." I know. It is. Especially when the sun's not out. Owen says he's just farted. I thought Mark might want to know. Macy, thanks for the follow. Down south, we've had thunder and lightning for the past few hours, says Trav. Thing is, you'd want to go out in the rain, wouldn't you? But you don't want to get hit by the lightning. Stay inside, everybody. Please don't take that as an invitation to go out. Goals are coming now, says Peter. Nicholas says Cape Verde versus Paraguay will be the final. Mark my words. Talking about the weather, I really hope we don't get many more of those France games. In a knockout stage, that'd be horrible. 2 hours waiting for the second half. We will definitely get more. Hydration break. Right, give me 30 seconds. I'm just going to close these. It's panicking me. No, I haven't bothered. I looked out and doesn't look like it's going to rain to me, although it is dark. That's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. I went into the kitchen, I looked out the skylight. It didn't look like it was going to rain. Pitch black. It didn't feel like it was going to rain. I'll take the risk. Getting 20 minutes more of air into the kitchen is worth the risk. My kitchen today has a thermometer in it for like the heating. It topped out at 29.6 degrees. It's 28.2 now. It's only come down by 1.5 degree. And it's the middle of the night. It's probably the most boring thing I've ever said. Singing in the Rain, Mark, we need it, says Rudolph the Red. My nan is currently in A&E. She was struck by lightning today. Just hoping you could wish her luck on her operation, says Ryan. Good luck to your nan on her operation. That sounds absolutely horrific. I hope she's going to be okay. Mystic Recipe says, completing the hat-trick here, best ever player. I mean, I was fortunate to see a little bit of Maradona, and I think he's the most impressive player I've ever seen. But for volume, it would have to be Messi or Ronaldo. Jack says, I'm your goat. NPC board says apparently it might rain next week. And I found out that Katie Talks Rover says, I found out that Blackburn is playing Wolves away on the first game of the season and Burton in the Cup. This game has given us enjoyment, especially when getting turned over by Wolves is coming up. Championship's going to be very interesting this season. I just wonder whether Birmingham City will finally sort themselves out. Weather has been crazy lately. I think I even saw someone's nan get struck by lightning today, says Daniel. What's going on? What's going on? STFC says, I might just take a pillow and sleep on the sun lounger. Mate, it would be better sleeping outside. And also, in Middle England, sleeping outside, what's the worst going to happen? A pigeon might shit on you if it's having a nightmare. A lad I went to school with, actually, he does, seems to use his holidays going cycling, but he goes like, he's cycled across like Asia and Africa, and I saw last summer he was in British Columbia, which is North America, isn't it? And he was pitching a tent up in car parks and on fields in these like mountains, and then he'd post a video the next day of, oh, here's a bear, here's a bear. I'm like, I would never be able to sleep at night in a tent around there when there literally are bears about. I just wouldn't be able to do it. USA are going to win the World Cup, says Chucky. I mean, it's unlikely, but I think it's good for a tournament if hosts do well. Look, there's a good chance that they'll all hit the last 16. South Africa, Canada, as I said, is going to be very interesting. I think as it stands, United States would play Bosnia, so they've got a chance themselves. Mexico are, as it stands, playing Scotland, but obviously it probably won't be Scotland, so... Oversteer Madness says, Mark, you should do more NFL watch-alongs. Go Bills. Oh, I'd love to see the Bills win the Super Bowl. Don't know whether it'll happen. I mean, they lost 3 in a row, didn't they? Do you still dream about polar bears, Mark? Says the Spurs way. I don't think I've ever had a dream about a polar bear. I mean, great white shark dreams definitely outnumber that. I remember having one dream about a polar bear where it was attacking me and it was really painful, but it was talking while it was doing it, which sort of took my mind off the pain, really, a little bit. I was like, what's going on? They lost 4 in a row, the Bills. Incredible. Weirdest dream you've ever had, says Ashton. Mate, I have mad dreams. Always did, as a kid. Mad dreams. I remember going to school sometimes and I'd say to my mates, this happened last night, and they were like, I really think you should get help. I was like, don't you dream? Not really. Not like that. You sure your home life's okay? I'm like, yeah, perfect. Got a Mega Drive for Christmas. It's great. Mad dreams. Not like, just it's really vivid dreams. Good dreams and then sometimes nightmares, you know? And I've told this story before, actually, so I don't want to bore anybody. 15 minutes to go here. Used to have quite a lot of nightmares when I was a kid. recurring nightmares about something I'm not going to mention because I haven't had them for a long time. It's like a fantasy animal, really. Anyway, I always used to get this paralysis in my sleep when it would appear in my dream, and I'd think I was awake, but then I wasn't awake, and that's the worst dream. You know, I'd think I was awake in my bedroom, and then I wasn't because it was in my bedroom, and I wouldn't be able to wake myself up. And then I found this thing, and basically, I can make a noise. You know when you're asleep and you're doing stuff. Sometimes you're doing good stuff with things, and you know, sometimes you're eating an ice cream in your dream and it feels real. And you're shouting in your dream, and you're not shouting when you're asleep. So I've figured out a way when I'm asleep to make a noise that works in real life, so that if I'm sleeping with somebody, they can wake me up. I'm not going to tell you what the noise is because it's embarrassing, but I can make a noise when I'm asleep in a dream that's happening in real life. Sleep paralysis is what it is. But even when I'm getting sleep paralysis, sleep paralysis is horrible. You can't move. You can't wake yourself up. You just can't do it. But I can make a noise, and it's when I do it, it makes a noise in real life. It's just very degrading, the noise. I would like to think the noise would be Cain or something like that. It's actually which for a grown man in his 40s, I'm surprised my wife's still with me, because she's heard that noise a few times and woke me up, and it's just not very. I just gives me the ick. But I need to get out of these dreams somehow. So sometimes she wakes me up in the night and gets woken up herself by her husband going, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." Oh, it makes me. I don't know why I've even told that story. Anyway, should have a talk show. Goldbridge After Dark is Irish. I would love to do an after show. After dark radio show, playing some music, and then I go, anyway, we'll be back after this, and then I play Talk Tonight by Oasis, or Made of Stone by Stone Roses, or The End by Blur. It'd be good. Thanks for the follows. Thoughts on Sweden facing France if nothing changes is honest. But it will change, won't it? Because there's still loads of games to come. So we've got Ecuador at the moment, but I think that can change. I'm not taking any notice of France, Sweden, or England, Ecuador, because I'm being told it can change dependent on other results. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why we get Ecuador either. I don't understand how they're picking who you get. Does anyone actually understand why we're getting Ecuador at the moment as it stands? Because I look at it, and Ecuador were first, they're now second, and we're still getting Ecuador. So I don't know why it is as it is. I don't really get it. Rocking Chair by Oasis is great. I don't understand it. Are we getting Ecuador if we finish top, or can it change if somebody else moves above Ecuador? The noise is a cow defecting on itself. Yeah, could be. Let's, says, remember what you said about that number 20 for South Africa? No. Did you bet for anyone getting booked in this match? No. I didn't do one today. Ale says it's based on groups, so teams don't play each other again. Scotty says you're most likely getting DR Congo. I just can't figure it out. I mean, if you look at the schedule for Wednesday, you've got 5 o'clock, first place Group L, plays third group in EHIJK. But which one? So at the moment, we're top of Group L, England, but it says Ecuador. But why are we getting Ecuador? EHIJK. Well, why not get H or I? Or I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm not going to pretend to get it either. Oh, EHIJK. So is it in order then? So yeah, it would be Ecuador, doesn't it? It's not going to change if it's done in order. It must be done in order then. So we're definitely going to get Ecuador, because if it's EHIJK, Ecuador are third in E. Maybe that's how it works. I'm not doing the 3 a.m. games, no, because USA are already top, Turkey are already going home, so it would be staying up till 3 a.m. to watch Australia play Paraguay, which, you know, might be quite interesting for Paraguay and Australia fans, but I'd rather get my sleep. Because I'm staying up to watch Spain-Uruguay tomorrow. I mean, it's 2 a.m. now. It's not like I've gone to bed early. With regards to Australia, and Paraguay, they're both on 3 points. They could play a draw and both go through. How much do you want to bet that's a draw? I mean, we're not betting anything, but that could be a draw. Because literally, if they draw, they'll both go through. 4 points will put them both through, so could be a draw that. Philip says, why are you watching Japan and Sweden dead watch? I mean, we've watched a lot of games, mate, that would be considered dead watch if we're not allowed to watch Japan-Sweden with a bit of jeopardy. I mean, it's going to end up being the draw. I think Sweden wanted. I think there was a time at 1-0 for Japan. If Elanga didn't score that worldie, I think Japan were looking good to try and top the group. But the goal for Sweden changed the game. More chance of you doing I'm a Celebrity or my nan getting hit by lightning, says Katie Talks Rovers. And there's a lot of nans getting hit by lightning. Don't let your nan out tonight. Start bench cell, Doctor Who, Doctor House. I don't know. Who's Doctor House? I'll have to have a look on this. Oh, it's a TV series with, what's his name in it? Hugh Laurie. Never watched it, so I'll sell that. So what was it? Doctor Who, Doctor House, or DR Congo? DR Congo can start, because I can't stand Doctor Who, and I never watched Doctor House. So I'll bench Doctor Who, and I'll sell Doctor House, and I'll start DR Congo. Decent cross into the box there, but couldn't quite get onto the end of it for Japan. Probably should have done better, really. It's a lovely cross. Technically brilliant cross, but he's stretching a little bit. It's not easy there for Japan. Just going through some of the subs now, because we've seen a few. Svensson's on for Ben Hodgson, and Seema's on for Stroud for Sweden. Just about to make another substitution as well. Doan's gone off for Japan for Ito. Wade has gone off for Ogawa. Nakamura went off for Nagatomi. Watanabe's come on for Seko. And Tenagichi came on for Itakara. So yeah, Japan have basically changed a lot of their players here. Nagatomi's 39, by the way, plays for FC Tokyo. Just looking at some of their subs. Watanabe, we should know him because he plays for Feyenoord. Although I feel like, did he play in the Prem? No, I feel like he did. Don't know why that. Taniguchi. He plays for Saint Truden in France. So basically a lot of changes. Ito has come on for Doan and Ogawa has come on for Wado. Ito plays for Genk. And Ogawa plays for NEC. And Gyökeres has been booked here. Andre Gomez says you absolutely have to watch House. Start, bench, sell. Kubrick, Spielberg, Scorsese. I'll sell Kubrick, I'll bench Spielberg, and I'll start Scorsese. I think a lot of people would probably start Spielberg, and I don't have a massive problem with that, but I just like a lot of Scorsese films. Blind Swami says you've got to watch House, Mark. It's a classic. I'm just going to flip over to the Tunisia Netherlands game. 3-1. I don't know when that happened, but that basically confirms them top of the group. So nothing's really going to change now. Netherlands' goal difference is too good anyway. And let me just update that because that's not refreshed. Yeah, as you can see, Japan on 5, Sweden on 4, and Netherlands on 7, and they've got a superior goal difference now anyway. So Sweden will go through, Japan will play Brazil, and Netherlands will play Morocco. Referee's losing his shit here. Well, you know, realistically, this is just cramp. This shouldn't be on the pitch. It should be off. Goated says, predators avoid humans in the wild. Your pal's fine. Yeah. That's why people don't get attacked by sharks and crocodiles, and polar bears don't go hunting human beings. Isn't there something about polar bears that they're the only predator that actively hunts humans? I'm sure I read that. Hand of Thrawn says House is a great show, Mark. BRM says start, bench, sell. Vinny! I can't speak, or I'm Ronnie Pickering. I'm Ronnie Pickering. I can't speak. Really. I think I'd sell I can't speak. I don't really use that anymore. Vinny, I'd have to start. I just like it, and I'll bench Ronnie Pickering. Although I haven't watched that for a long time. Eager says polar bears are one of 4 that prey on humans. You should have given us the other 3. Tigers do apparently as well, and crocodiles. Start, bench, sell. Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, or Denzel Washington. I'd have to sell Brad Pitt. I do like Brad Pitt, but I think out of the 3, you know, that's a very top tier. So I would sell Pitt, bench Washington, and start DiCaprio. DiCaprio's just done so many films that I like from Inception to Shutter Island to, you know, I even like The Titanic, Blood Diamond, The Departed, Wolf of Wall Street. He's done so many good films. Funnily enough, I didn't like his last one, though. You know, what was it? Something of the Flower Moon. No, not that one, actually. I didn't like that either. Actually, he has started to fall off a little bit. Denzel, you're starting. Denzel's done some shit films, though, as well. I've seen him in some right shit. DiCaprio's the same person in every film. I think that's a bit harsh, mate. I mean, his Inception character's very different to his Shutter Island character. His Django Unchained character is very different to Inception. Departed's very different to Blood Diamond. Basketball Diaries is a great film. I haven't watched it in years, but I really enjoyed that. I didn't like One Battle After Another, no. No, I didn't. I thought it was okay, but there's a new film I've seen a trailer for with Ethan Hawke and Russell Crowe in. That looks very good. I think it's out in the fall. Reverend. Oh, what a film The Reverend is as well. Oh, my God. Again. Miss Get Southgate out videos after every game, says Vish. If people are interested in American sports watch-alongs like the Bills, I live stream every day. Love your content, Mark, says Jolly Good Takes. Thank you very much, pal. So, start, bench, sell, Marlon Brando, Daniel Day-Lewis or DiCaprio. I mean, we're getting a bit silly here because it's a bit like Pele. I've not really watched a lot of Marlon Brando films. Obviously, he's very good in The Godfather. Daniel Day-Lewis is probably number one for me. I think he's an incredible actor. Shane says, did you know orcas actively hunt moose? Well, they're never going to bloody catch one, are they? The Beach is a good film as well, yeah. 7 minutes added on. Tell you what, this has been a very easy watch along. Thank you everybody today. I mean, considering it's a midnight till 2 a.m. game, I've actually found it quite straightforward and it's gone by very quickly. So appreciative to you all for that. Thanks, Jelen, sorry. Dan loves Man United, says the heat wave is boring now. Yeah, it needs to go. It needs to go. Thanks for the follow, Prince G and Jaden. Appreciate you. 7 minutes have been added on, so we've got another 5. I mean, they're just basically playing for the draw now. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do, because we're on the road to 1.5 million and we're only 500 away from 1.49. And thank you to everybody who's given us a follow on TikTok as well. Tomorrow night it's Norway France at 8 p.m. UK time, and then there's a big gap actually. That's quite a big gap, isn't it? Because that'll finish at 10, and then it's a 3-hour gap until Spain Uruguay. I'm planning on doing it though. Oh, Elanga nearly won it there. Good save by the keeper. I'd like to say I've cooled down a bit, but I just don't think I have. Still, my arms are sweating. You know it's hot when your wrists start sweating. I was out playing football yesterday, and I looked down at my wrists and they were sweating. No, not my wrists. Yeah, the top of your wrists. You can sweat there. As fitness freaks know that. Corner to Sweden. And a great save by the keeper. Flicked on a header by Isak. And Suzuki actually tipped it up onto the bar. What do you think about Sweden? I don't think they're going to get past the next round. I think Japan have more gears they could have gone into and basically took half their team off at 1-1. So it's a good result for Sweden to get through, but I don't see them getting through the next round, especially if they're going to get France. They just don't seem very coherent. Got some good players, but they just don't seem very coherent. Still 3 minutes to go. All over in the Tunisia game against the Netherlands. 3-1 there. I'm not doing the USA game now. I'm looking forward to getting into... Well, I'd say I'm looking forward to getting into bed. I mean... I was all right last night. I mean, it was hot, but I was all right last night. It just feels different tonight. It feels a bit... We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might do a live stream of me trying to go to sleep on Instagram. Get yourself on to Goldbridge Mark on Instagram. Give me a follow. I'll do a live stream of me trying to get to sleep. Van Heck, Brobby, and an own goal in the Tunisia game. Brobby's got 3 now for the tournament. That man Zambi's doing well for Switzerland, isn't he? At Freiburg. Well, I think, you know, I know quite a bit about the Bundesliga now anyway, and he's had a good season at Freiburg. Played in the final against Villa in the Europa League. I can definitely see him being in the Prem soon. Sort of player that might end up going to like Brentford first or Bournemouth. Yep, so look, Japan as dark horses sounds good, but we've got these incredible games on Monday where we're going to see Brazil play Japan and Netherlands play Morocco, and we're going to lose 2 of those teams, which I think is a shame, especially when you've got Canada playing South Africa. It just feels a little bit wrong. Nothing against Canada or South Africa, but that's a round 32 game, and Brazil's around a 32 game as well. But look, it opens it up for other people. I can't see Japan getting through Brazil, to be honest. I can't see Brazil going out that early, but it should be a good game. And it's certainly not an easy game for Brazil. I've played the game. Plantman Spaceman, I think Cunha's been fantastic in this tournament so far. Thank you for tonight, says the real Joe. You don't need to thank me, but thank you to all of you for tuning in tonight. Interesting few weeks coming up now as we hit the knockout stage very, very soon. But of course, Norway-France tomorrow at 8 o'clock. They'll be playing for first place. This game's over. Alanga doesn't look very happy, but Potter does. I don't know what Alanga's not happy about there. I mean, they didn't deserve to win it. Maybe he thought there was going to be a chance for him and he didn't get a pass. But obviously, if they'd won the game, they would have avoided France and got Morocco. But, you know. AJD says Japan are severely underrated. Okay, well, thanks, everyone. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, and I do need to get some sleep. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're back on That's Football tomorrow for Norway against France. I am going to drop a transfer video tomorrow as well. Lots to catch up on. You know, there's been quite a few bits going on, but I'll drop that in the morning. And United stands at 10 a.m. Stay safe, take care. I'll speak to you all in a bit.